Also attending are Simon Carey, Ben Chia. Okay, good. I finally got it right, maybe. I'll ruin it before. And Abby O'Brien. Mike Lewis, our Chief Financial Officer, he had to take out tonight because he was exposed over the weekend to somebody who had COVID. And so he thought it was prudent not to come tonight. And our compliance consultant, Terry Waveda, she didn't make it, can't make it. She's still convalescing, but getting stronger. And but we do have Mike Stevenson, our IT mate here. I have the minutes there.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
Okay, then so moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Good. Now it takes care of that problem. Let's start with Simon. You're the one we brought on board first. So quickly give a quick hello to everybody here so that we know who you are and what you're doing. And, you know, you should be practiced at it by now. You've done it a few times.
Well, Bill, let's before Simon, Bill and I interviewed the guys, the men and women at the table for IDA positions. After speaking with them and hearing their qualifications, we pushed them to the Board of Legislature for approval. So we're just waiting for the board to meet on that and meet the approval.
Well, the approval was given the other night at the committee meeting. So that's pretty much a done deal. The official confirmation takes place on May 3rd,
Right.
which is the full legislature. And basically, they'll just read a resolution that says you folks have been appointed to the board. And then at that point, then you take on all the duties and responsibilities of a board member of the Putnam County IDA, which include...
I just wanted to put it out there so that
it's been done. So, but we have met with you, and now, again, we'll just talk about it.
My name is Simon Carey, and I live in Kent. I've lived there for 20 years now, and I'm on the Kent Planning Board for the last 4 years. So, and I'm a surveyor on Local 15D. I work down the city, so I commute like a lot of people. And I wanted to get more involved, as I said, in the Putnam County IDA, because as I'm in the planning board, but that's very localized, and also we don't do any bringing in businesses, or we just pass, ordinance. No, we don't actually pass the ordinance, but I just want to expand a little bit more because my kids are grown up. One's going to college now, so I have more time to spare. So I've joined the Chamber of Commerce as well. So I'm in there as well. So I'm trying to do as much as I can for the county when I can.
Ben, go ahead.
My name is Ben Shear. I moved to Putnam County about 7 years ago. I live in Cold Spring with my wife and 2 sons. I also sit on the board of the Rec Centre, Commission of the Rec Centre in Putnam County. In Phillipstown. And for work, I've had a sort of a slightly mixed career. I have about 20 years on the creative side of the film business, and the last 10 years as an operations director and managing director. Currently, I consult in the film business, and I also run a real estate investing company that's in its 22nd year. So I'm very excited to be joining the Putnam IDA because I just think it's we're at a pivotal point economically and in terms of opportunities for more economic development to happen here in Putnam County, for a lot of commerce to strike up and jobs, etc., to be created. So I'd very much like to contribute. The one other piece that I should probably mention is that and that pivot from film into management. I did a finance degree. I did an MBA at NYU at Stern. So in terms of
treasurer.
In terms of becoming the treasurer.
outstanding qualification.
You'll understand the joke in a little bit. But that's great. Looking forward to it. Especially your interest in the film industry is one of the things that we're involved with the Putnam County EDC, Economic Development Corporation,
Right.
and the tourism are between those two. They're kind of the marketing arm for Putnam County businesses trying to bring business in.
Right.
And the IDA has supported them, and we've joined with the Hudson Valley Film Commission to hopefully solicit more business and stuff through them. People that are familiar with the film industry and that kind of stuff are definitely an asset to us.
Yeah, and can't make any promises about what could or couldn't happen, but they were shooting some episodes of Miss Maisel, Marvelous Miss Maisel, in Phillipstown, and one of my best friends, my son's godmother, is one of the producers, so she stayed at my house over the weekend, and they started shooting on Monday, and so, I'd like to lever any contact I can in the film industry. I've got about 140 credits to help, so any way that I can help.
Abby.
Hi, I'm Abby O'Brien. I have lived in Putnam Valley my whole life. My father owns a business in town of Cortland for my entire life. It's a farm market and farm stand, so I've grown up and seen the trials of owning your own business, being in a family business through COVID, before COVID. And for work, I'm a bookkeeper for a construction company. I work in the office. I deal with compliance and making sure compliant for employees and the guys in the field. I'm a mom. I have 4 young kids in Putnam Valley schools, and I think it's important to bring, like you said, businesses and places of work for people that is important to Putnam County, and will provide businesses and places of employment to Putnam County residents. And I'm just honored and excited to be a part of it, and happy to help out.
Well, welcome all of you, and officially you'll be welcomed on May 3rd, but I'm glad to have you aboard now, and it's good to see you here. It's been a long struggle for the last 5 years, getting into compliance and staying into compliance, so it's one of our issues, but it's like so many bureaucratic things out of the state. It's you got to go through the process in order to get the benefits, and being able to give the kind of benefits that the IDA gives. The best definition of us, we're the toolbox for economic development. The people in the EDC and tourism, they can bring the projects to us, and we're the ones that maybe are the ones that will be able to offer the incentives to push them over the top. So, welcome aboard. I can give you a treasurer's report, but I left it all upstairs. So I can tell you basically that at this stage of the game, we've got about $10,000 in the bank in our checking account. And we've got $5,000 that's sitting off to the side that I'm waiting to put in, which is part of the custodial account for our new project, the Raymar Living. So when we get ourselves set up next week, hopefully, we'll have our bank accounts all set up with Putnam County Savings Bank, and we'll be able to get all our books back on there. We use QuickBooks, and it's all up to date, and actually it all reconciled, so I'm pretty proud about that. So,
That's great.
but we're looking for that kind of help, and someone that understands financing. That's going to be good coming down the road, just to make sure that we're looking at projects that are viable and stuff. And a bookkeeper is a very important person that we may be putting some burden on you, if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
Well, we'll find a way to make you mind. That's okay. And that's pretty much where it is. So we're looking forward to get our bank account squared away and going forward from there. Our 2021 Paris reports are late right now, but they know about it up in Albany, and we're in the process of getting it finalized. But Terry, our compliance accountant, who happens to be 83 years old, and had a bad bout with COVID and stuff. But she's putting stuff together, and I think we're down to the last few minutes of getting that all put together. I don't foresee any real problems there. This last week, how many of the current members had an opportunity to see any of the virtual IDA Academy sessions? I didn't think so. I didn't think
I did
so.
not.
Huh?
I did not.
I
Yeah.
did not either. I had a wicked day that day.
Okay. I kind of figured that, but nonetheless, there we are. Some of the sessions actually were very interesting.
Yeah.
I especially was interested in the one on the pilots and the universal tax exemption policy. Finding out that I've always been a little nervous about our universal tax exemption policy, which is one of the tools that the state gave an IDA that kind of supersedes all the taxing entities in Putnam County or in the jurisdiction that you're in. And so the fun part about that is that it gives you the power to grant tax exemptions for properties, but you want to use it judiciously because you don't want the taxing entities to get all huffy and start suing you and things like that. So it's an interesting thing, and you'll learn more about it as we go forward. And then come May 4th, who will be able to take that one? That's a mandatory, not mandatory, but it's a required training period. You qualified for it, but, you know, if you want to take it again.
No, thank you.
Okay, but you other guys, can either of you make it? Because you're signed up for it.
When is it?
Huh?
Do you know what time it is?
Yeah, it's
Phil?
from 9 to 11,
Oh, in the morning?
yeah.
What's the date on that? What's the day of the week, you know?
May 4th, it's a Wednesday.
If I'm not away, I could be just getting
Yeah,
done.
that should be fine for me.
It's a Wednesday.
And for you folks who will be brand new on that day, if you're available Wednesday morning from 9 to 11, I can get you signed up, and it's a real good introduction to what the authority's budget office does, and you know all the rules and regulations about operating on a board in New York State. Kind of opens your eyes as to what they are. Bring your no-dos, have a big cup of coffee handy. But if you want, I can sign you all up. So if you want, if you can make it, okay.
I'll look into it.
Okay, happy to. Okay, I'll get you signed up and you'll get information from them, they'll get your email. It's virtual, you sit there and watch it, but they watch you too to make sure that you don't run away and, you know, check in and go on, so. But it counts, and it's good then for 3 years, and you don't have to bother with them for 3 years. Okay. We're pretty much caught getting our compliances up to date. The biggest problem we have are our website, some of the issues that we're cleaning up, getting our files in place. And I think our attitude at this stage of the game is we're going to get our website correct now and maybe eventually work back to some degree, but not be too concerned about what happened in the past. Just make sure that going forward that we're complying with what needs to be going forward there. But as you'll take a look at some of the stuff that you've seen and that I passed out the other day, compliance is really, I mean, every time you turn around, they come down with another rule and regulation that has to be taken care of.
Or they'll make a rule and say, we'll give you guidance later.
Yeah.
And then they'll tell you, you're not in compliance.
Good luck until
Yeah,
then.
that they did too, so it's. Then, one of the things that I would like to talk about real quick is we have technical issues that we run up against, and because we don't have a staff, I rely on outside help. Mike helps me with the website and a lot of stuff there. We had training, we tried to bring in interns and part-timers and stuff. Every time we got them just about trained, that's when they had to leave and go someplace else. So it became awkward. Now my biggest fun in games is to tell Mike that he has to get his staff in order so that we'll have someone regularly we can pick on.
I'm starting early.
Oh, yeah, well, okay, start real early, that's good. But we also have issues just with the type of equipment that we have to use because of where we are here. You know, some of you have already experienced our Wi-Fi issues and stuff like that. And also the laptop that we have is 5 going on 6 years old now, and is no longer capable of going forward. So I've contacted with the guy that we've used so far that I thought has done a really good job, and we're looking at $6,000, I guess, for the year if he does everything. Will get us squared away, and so at this stage of the game I won't ask for anything. I don't need a vote, but just if you guys are disinclined to do that, then let me know now, but otherwise I'm going to plan to go ahead with taking on Andrew Martini, who's been the guy that's got us to where we are now. Good, having sold that real quick. The current status of our projects. We have projects. Ace Indico is, if you folks aren't familiar with it, it's a food service company, restaurants and institutions. During COVID, they actually even did home deliveries for a while. I don't know if they're still doing it, but their main business is institutions and restaurants. They started with us here in Putnam County. Then they expanded. When we got the first process, we gave them some benefits. In the second process, we gave them some benefits. And they're getting ready to expand again, and they may come to us for a third time to give them some benefits. And they are certainly well worth all the help we can give them, because they're the ultimate in what you're looking for in an IDA thing. They're a good, clean company. They do, if you've ever seen their operation, it's spotless, it's clean. They keep their trucks clean. And they started off with 230 employees. They're over 600 now. So they're moving right along. And they came up with over 100 employees, actually, even during the COVID period. So they know how to run their business, and they're doing a good job at it. The Ahana Comfort Inn. Ahana was the parent company, but Comfort Inn is the franchise. And they're doing well, as I said before. They're breaking into their market, and they've done a lot of work to try and get ready for people with their weddings and stuff like that. They don't have the rooms, so they don't have a conference center yet, but he's got 13 acres there that's available. And one of the things they were looking for, which is something we'll talk about many times, is the infrastructure that we were hoping was going to be along there, which is the sewer system down along Route 6. And it hasn't panned out. It probably won't pan out in the near future. But he's got other opportunities and possibilities to expand. But he would like to put in a conference room, something, or a restaurant perhaps, and stuff like that. It's interesting. Restaurants are not something that an IDA can provide benefits for. But a conference operation, they could provide benefits for. So it depends on how it's structured. And one of the things that we're careful about, but also cognizant of, is helping anybody that comes to us with a project and making sure that if we can tweak it a little bit so it fits into the proper parameters, then we're happy to help them do that.
So Bill, they're current with their obligation, with their tax obligation and
Yes.
all that?
Yes,
So we're good with that?
they're up to
All right,
speed.
Good.
Braemar Living, they're one of the new projects that we've given an inducement to move forward. Basically, the inducement is saying that we're going to give you these benefits, but you have to come through with a final application and have your financing in order, and those are your obligations for that. And we'll give you, in this case, we gave them a year to get those things done. They're planning to have it hopefully within the next few weeks. And then the Glenida Distillery, which has been going on now for 3 years, and we're trying to figure out, or they're trying to figure out exactly how they're going to pull this all together. They started off with something that was really pretty glamorous and exciting, and it was brought in by the people in New York State. They brought it in, but through all the problems that we've had over the last 3 or 4 years, the parameters have changed, but they're still going to come. We have 2 older projects that we've closed out, 7 Sutton Places closed out, and Brewster Plastics is a company that we gave benefits to, and then they were the makers of the trays, the serving trays that McDonald's had. And McDonald's changed their modem and whatever their operations, and they lost that contract, and they hadn't been able to find any business. They were pretty seriously hurt. They're still struggling along, limping, but they haven't been paying their taxes for the last 4 years. And so they went into what should have been foreclosure, ultimately was foreclosure, but then now they were making payments to their mortgage company, so they were out of foreclosure, and that's changed. And so legalese, but with COVID, the courts were closed for so long, things are still unsettled. So I can't tell you where it's going to go, but it's a mess, and ultimately, at this stage of the game, we consider ourselves to be made whole because they paid the lease fees that they owed us, but they didn't pay any of the taxes. And we basically waived all the rest and said, thank you very much. But because of the way the pilots are written, we are considered owner leasees of the property. And so we're not off the property rolls at this stage of the game, even though our contracts are very specific and say we have no financial culpability or anything like that. So it's not that we can get caught with anything, it's just that we get tied up in all the legal stuff.
So essentially, we filed with the county and we notified all the taxing entities that they were delinquent, and we're following guidance from the county.
Right.
So the IDA board followed all good governance practices for this situation with Brewster Plastics, and everybody wants to see a Putnam County business get back on their feet, but they also have an obligation to comply with the law.
Sure.
So that's where we're at with that.
Exactly. And we've got a couple of new projects that are going. I still haven't heard anything about the iPark.
Yeah, that's coming. It's just a matter of when. He's developing. I think he's doing Ulster, an iPark in Ulster first.
Okay.
He's developing
one
land in
Fishkill.
Fishkill. He sold a couple parcels. We have a Frito-Lay warehouse coming in there. He's trying to rezone the Fishkill parking lot, and he's doing another full Lionsgate studio in Yonkers.
Another one.
Another one, right?
Maybe Ben can talk him into coming up here and doing a Lionsgate up here.
Never know.
Yep. The other one is Envision Brewster, which is now unfortunately they're calling it Westchester Crossings for some reason. I haven't figured out why. It's the one. Actually, it's a 2-block section of Main Street in Brewster that'll be totally renovated with retail offices on a lower level, and then 400 units of housing above it, parking, and it's designed to be the what's it called now?
Mixed use.
It's mixed use, but transit oriented facility, so that you know, people can go to the train, they can walk around. It's you won't need a car quite as much. It's not quite the New York City setup, but they're trying to bring people in closer. And, you know, use downtown as a place to go and stay. Brewster Industries, which is the logistics place. I actually drove by there yesterday on Pugsley Road. I don't know if any of you know where Pugsley Road is, but
Is that off 312?
it's off 312
Yeah.
just as you're
Right here in the trees?
coming down from
You're by Tilly Foster Farm?
yeah, and it's where all the trees are going. But if you think the trees look like they're gone there, you ought to go further back into the woods and see how they've really cleared everything there. It's just amazing. But they seem to have stopped now, so I don't know exactly what they're waiting for something. And we were at one point approached to help finance some of that, and they still are mumbling, but we haven't heard them talk about it, which is something that kind of goes on with this kind of thing. All of a sudden, you know, you hear them saying, "Hi, we'd like to talk to you, we'd like to talk to you. Hi, we need this yesterday." You know, it's the way they come about it, so it's
And also
not
to being compliant, we can't give IDA benefits on an empty facility.
Yeah.
They have to have a named tenant and a contract with that tenant in order for an IDA
Yeah.
to give the IDA benefit, and they weren't coming forth with the tenant.
yeah, we can't help with someone with speculation. You have to have something that's going to be worthwhile. And we were also, I was talking with the folks over at the Hudson Valley Shakespeare Festival, and they are talking some part of their project, maybe something that would fit into what an IDA can do. So it's just something to be able to look at. Terry didn't have anything else. Does anybody here have anything they want to talk about?
Where's this iPark thing again? I know we talked about that last time.
That's down closer towards 22, right? It's going
But
down.
it's behind Brewster Fire Department,
Oh, okay.
that land over there.
Oh, that's
Like
part of it.
between,
Where the Italian pizza, where they make the pizza ovens.
oh, 312.
Yeah, well, no, so you're coming off 6, you make the right at the Brewster Fire Department.
Okay, in town.
And head north towards the bridge that brings you up to,
Like Go-Backers?
yeah, across from there,
Cross and Go-Backers.
yes.
Oh, okay.
One of the things that you'll probably wind up doing is learning a lot more about the geography and the places in Putnam County, because if you're just used to Putnam Valley or Cold Spring,
Can't go by road names, you gotta go by landmarks.
yeah. So
Bill, do you need a new computer, or are you good where you're at?
I'm getting an estimate. Part of my discussion with Andrew was that I would consider his contract for the coming year, but he had to give me a good deal on a computer, and he's going to let me know something that's going to be more than adequate to do what we need to do, but quite capable of it, and he's going to give it to us at his price. So, okay, that's what I'm looking forward to seeing how that comes out. But I figure it's probably somewhere in the $1,000 to $1,500 range, something like that. And I'm waiting for you to come back with something, but I think we're basically going to mosey along with pretty much what we've been doing.
I'm happy. I'm easy going.
Well, if you're
Just give
happy
me the
and
years
the kids are
and-
quiet, then it's good. So, in that case, since we have nothing else really to vote on at this stage of the game, I'll make a motion to adjourn. Okay. Everybody's got everything to do.
Second.
Glad to see you guys all there. There's no need for you to be at the